till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on, till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on.
Okay, my Straight Talk family, just like the theme song says, let's keep moving on. We're not going to stop right now because it's past 8 o'clock. And it's time for me to welcome you to another edition of Straight Talk. And time for me to say good night to the world, and in particular to St. Kitts and Nevis, which is a federation that's an integral part of the world. Also to the entire Caribbean region, we say good night. And yes, we are on the World Wide Web, so we reach you all over the globe. Some of you are in Asia. There are some of you in Africa. Some of you are in Europe. And there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I can't say good morning, and I will say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And for the first timers, and for those who share the link, I am eternally grateful, and I welcome first timers, because whenever you share that link, and don't you ever stop, please. We do get first timers, and for the first timers, please ensure that this won't be your last time, because Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves freely. My Straight Talk family, on this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And my Straight Talk family, I continue to pledge that I will remain an untiring advocate. And the reasons why I make this abundantly clear, because I know at times I do upset some people, but truth be told, all I do is talk the truth. And when I do bring you the truth, I as well ensure that I provide the supporting documentation, if you wish to call it that, my Straight Talk family. Because we are all about truthfulness. Because I am always reminded of the favorite hymn of mine, and I always feel that I am duty bound to really read this excerpt, which goes something like this. We are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and the right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. So let us seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will. Yes, it's a blessing. So my Straight Talk family, I can assure you, especially my first timers, absolutely nothing is watered down on this program. We don't need to make it more interesting, neither by omission nor exaggeration. It's not about sensationalism or creating excitement, especially at the expense of accuracy. Because, like I said, we lean on the facts. And I consider it my duty, my bounden duty, to always present the unvarnished truth, the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance in St. Kitts and Nevis. And this program is intended to join us together with people across the Federation. Through this program, we are joined with the people in the diaspora all around the world. Some we know very well and have met. Others we do not know, and many we will never meet. Some of us will disagree, and some will agree. But let us agree to disagree, and it's fine, because it's all about diversity. We are different people. But please do not sadden me, my Straight Talk family, if we start to become disagreeable. So let's thank Almighty God, nonetheless, for helping us to understand, oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Let's hope and pray for the day when we will all sing his praises together. So welcome again, my people, and thanks to those who continue to share the link. And I must apologize, yes, a little bit tardy, yes, but for my last episode, I ran into an alleged copyright violation. So some of you may not have seen that playback, and I apologize for that, but it's up on on your Facebook and YouTube, up on the media, social media right now. So if you missed the last episode, you can, after this one, go back and research it, because it's very interesting, I can assure you. But Trade Talk is a participative program. We include your calls and your emails, and if you're so minded, call in. The numbers are on your monitors, on your screens. They are listed there. Some who like the cloak of anonymity, I call it, we give you access via our email platform as well. That is listed, my email address. But I must welcome my special brigade, my junior brigade, our future. Young Dwayne, Tristan, Shama, Kevin, Rue, Costa, Jamal, Anguilla, Travis and Trevon, Pon's extension, and that special lady who helped me out. On a sad note, I must also extend condolences to the family of Alistair Halliday. We all in Newtown know him as Chucky. I heard he has gone to the great beyond, and we extend condolence to his entire family. And all those who have lost loved ones, sometimes I don't hear about them, but if you do hear it, all well and good to just send me a WhatsApp note and I'll recognize them. Now, we do also go into our observations in review before we go into our thesis, which I have titled Conflict of Interest, Mice Guarding Cheese. Yes. But before we do go into our thesis, there are one or two observations that I am duty bound to make. That there's something that has come to Straight Talk, and a time when we reflect on the current issues, we do some reflection, yes, and we ask some questions. But my first observation, I won't hesitate to embark upon. Now, before I even do that, I should, as a public service announcement, I should in fact give you a gentle reminder about this coming Saturday, the 20th of July, the PLP constituency number 2, at the Central Bastille Group, will be hosting a fundraising event. That's a breakfast at the Shoreline Plaza between 7 and 10 a.m. That's in the a.m. Yes, it's breakfast. So do go and support the PLP Central Bastille Group. As I said, we'll be hosting a breakfast, as I'm advised, and the menu looks rather enticing for those who may want to participate at 7 or between 7 and 10 in the morning. And my first observation, my Straight Talk family, relates to an issue we have raised several times right here on Straight Talk. And according to SKNIS, that's the St. Kitts Nevis Information System, I think it's called, Cabinet had a political event this morning. I call it a political event, yes. Cabinet had a political event this morning at the C.A. Paul Southwell industrial site. And so to speak, sealed the deal and finally handed the $40 or $50 million contract for construction of a 2 million gallon desalination plant. And why Straight Talk say handing? Because no procurement was done in accordance with the Procurement and Administration Act. And the Act is very, very clear. The Act is pellucid as it comes to the methods of procurement. And we have dealt with this on more than one occasion, and it pains me that we'll have to do this time and time again. But the methods of procurement are very clear according to the Act, and you can read it on your monitors, on your screens. It says a procurement shall be made by one of the following methods. And underline shall. There's no option. There's no discretion. It says shall be made by one of the following methods of solicitation. And they're listed here. A tender, competitive sealed bids, and it goes on and on, my straight dog family. It speaks to sole procurement as determined under section 11.5. But a sole procurement is if you can't find no other source. That's obvious. The Act is quite clear as well about giving notice. And this is very important. The Act is absolutely clear about giving notice. And Section 13 of the Procurement and Administration Act, it is very clear, and I read it again for our benefit and clarification, my straight talk family. And it says, and I quote, subject to Section 16, the procurement officer shall, and note the language, shall. There's no discretionary authority or powers. A solicitation for a procurement by tender, or B, an invitation to pre-qualify for procurement by tender is given in at least 2 newspapers of general circulation in the Federation, no less than 6 weeks before the day and time for the close of the bids or proposals or invitations to pre-qualify, my straight dog family. And that's clear. That's very, very clear, my straight dog family. So I just don't know why these mice in the cabinet continue to nibble on the cheese. Because remember, my straight dog family, remember as well that it was the our disgraced Attorney General who very early told us about the criminality as it relates to the procurement. And he said this, my straight dog family. Remember, he said this.
Our Procurement Act requires that there be a competitive bidding process to ensure the government gets value for money, and it makes it a crime to spend money from the Treasury without the procurement process being completed.
Get value for money are the operative words, and that's why it be tender. But note as well, my straight dog family, the conspicuous absence of the manager and water engineer, Cromwell Williams, unless he's off island. I can get that information. And those dedicated and hard-working men from the Water Services Department. Look at it. It's just the cabinet, basically, my straight dog family, and breaking ground for this $50 million desalination. That's why I refer to it as a political event. But notwithstanding that, my straight dog family, issues of quality seem to be dogging this so-called engineer, Congress Maynard. Yes, issues of quality seem to continue to dog, to follow Congress Maynard wherever he turns, my straight dog family. We informed you about the recent steps taken by the Water Services Department, for example, to ensure the quality of water that was found in a well that was drilled at Cabbage Tree in Keon by Bede. We reminded you what the water quality supervisor, I think is his title, had to say about that particular well that's in the Keon area. And Greenaway, I think Sean Greenaway is his name. So we worked together at some stage in the ministry. He had this to say. Remember this as well, my Straight Talk family.
If most persons will be concerned with the cabbage well, we have had persons on the media or Facebook going around saying the water content is, for instance, salty. But up to last week, I personally went and did a test and matching prior results, because some of it is tests have been done over a period of time and the results are matching those that we had before. But to be on the safe side, just a week ago the manager also instructed to get the lab involved, and we went and we took some samples, so we're still awaiting the results for those samples. But we're doing everything in our powers to monitor and make sure that whatever water is come or sent to the homes is up to standard.
And we thank them in advance, my Straight Talk family. And Straight Talk, like the many residents, especially in the Cabbage Tree area in Keon, will await a final report from the Water Services Department, as that last sample, we were just told, has been sent to the Bureau of Standards. But while on the issue of water supply as well, my Straight Talk family, we are also awaiting the advice of SOCA engineer Conris Maynard in respect of Shadwell 2, which was drilled by Bede some 5 or 6 years ago. And that well at Shadwell 2, as it is called, it is still capped. I'm reminding you, it is still capped. That well is capped because after the Bureau of Standards found a high level of arsenic contamination in that well, rendering the water unfit for human consumption. And that's why the residents, in particular in the Cabbage Tree area, you have to demand, if your eyes are burning you, if you use the water, make a noise. Take a sample and take it to the Bureau of Standards yourselves. But remember, the minister with responsibility for water and SOCA engineer Conris Maynard committed to the country that when Bede was finished drilling at Keon, it would move to rectify Shadwell 2. And that's the agreement that the team Unity signed prior to the SOCA engineer coming into office. But he promised this, and he should ensure this is done in keeping with the contract signed with Bede.
The next step, of course, is the Shadwell well, and plans are ongoing to address the Shadwell well. That will help the Basti area and also the St. Peter's area.
So yes, we are waiting, SOCA engineer, for the next steps in terms of rectifying that well and the outstanding work to be done at Shadwell 2. But as I said, the quality issues seem to be dogging SOCA engineer Conris Maynard. But because more recently, the quality issues have moved from the field side, or the quality issues, I can say, are not only in the field, as Straight Talk learned that SOCA engineer Conris has quality issues inside the offices of his own ministry. Because this video, my Straight Talk family, went viral over the last couple of days, my Straight Talk family.
Yes, people. It's a sad day when I could stay from home and hear that Nicole, the post lady from Monkey Hill, Nude, for New Road Monkey Hill is dead. Or New Road St. Peter's is dead. Nicole has finally passed. She's deceased. And I want to ask the question right now, before this thing gets cold. Who is to blame for Nicole's death? Nicole been suffering because of mold that was in the post office. Nicole came in the post office a healthy girl.
Who is to blame for Nicole's death from St. Peter's, from Monk Hill? But what is troubling about the content of this video, of which the content suggests the cause of death being attributed to mold in the General Post Office? And we must extend condolence to the family of Nicole. I do have her picture, but I was not certain. I had to make certain it was her before I posted, the lady, post lady, as she's referred to. But my Straight Talk family, the ministry's administration department in which the office of Soko Engineer Conris exists has been closed. But the General Post Office, that department is not closed. Although we've heard so many complaints about mold in the General Post Office. But would you believe, my Straight Dog family, that news reaching this program reveal that the staff in the administration of the ministry where the office of the Soko Engineer Conris Maynard is located also complained about mold, and the staff got a missive and was sent home yesterday afternoon until further notice by the Soko Engineer and Minister of Public Infrastructure. My Straight Dog family. My Straight Dog family, the following, or rather Straight Talk is following that story and would keep you posted. But it is sad news coming out of the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, and the Soko Engineer has not considered it fit to address the post office complaints. But he has addressed his own complaints over there at the administration office of the ministry. We also wonder what's happening downstairs by the Water Services Department, but we are following that issue as well. On another sad note, my Straight Dog family, and this deals with our neighbors in St. Martin, and quite a lot of Kittitians and divisions reside and live in St. Martin. And gunshots were fired last night at Oliver Arundel, the political leader of Walichi Movement for Change, OMC, and his wife Sabine, or Sabina Arundel. It is reported that his wife was killed. And Arundel alerted the community last night, my Straight Talk family, in a video he posted online on his way to the ambulance, my Straight Talk family. When he said this, according to the news reports, that there was an attempt on my life, gunshot. I got shot in my back, he said. And we can see him here being stretched out onto the ambulance. And this follows on the heels of an apparent assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump, like him or not, who was shot in the ear at an election rally in Pennsylvania, in Butler's, Pennsylvania, I think is the correct area, on Saturday, July the 13th. The alleged shooter was killed by snipers, and one spectator was also killed, and 2 were hurt, officials said. And we know for the Trumpers, he closes out the Republican National Convention tonight in Milwaukee and is expected to give his keynote speech and formally accept his nomination. But the news coming out of St. Martin, my Straight Talk family, it's troubling. And it is said that when your neighbor's house is on fire, you better wet yours. And I would hate to think that way about St. Kitts and Nevis. But lots of people in St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Kitts and Nevis in particular, I can speak for St. Kitts, but both I can speak for. They are troubling. And some people are living high on the hog. Some people are living like hogs. Because of the politics and the political victimization coming from this incompetent bunch of experts, they call themselves. But those are my observations in review for tonight, my Straight Talk family. And I will move right into my thesis, which I said is titled Conflict of Interest, Mice Guarding Cheese. Yes, the mice are guarding the cheese. And when we examine where our country has gone in just days shy of being in office for 2 years, many regret the decisions they made on August the 6th, 2022. Now, 2 years later, it seems as though the coronavirus-induced pandemic is back. Because things are much worse now when compared to the period during COVID-19. The only difference, my Straight Talk family, is we don't have to wear masks. We're not mandated to wear masks and have to be locked down at a particular time. No curfews. But many people say to me, this is the July pandemic, and things are worse now than before. And even one of his biggest fans confessed that just last night, my Straight Talk family. One of his biggest fans and advisors, or advisor, I should say, said this and made this confession. And confession is good for the soul, my Straight Talk family.
A little back, when unity was in power, when they had the falling out with Sean and Timothy and they, and you compare the country then to the country now, even though things were mashing up under the unity, things were much better. Things were much better under the unity because people had money in their pockets. And you tell me you're going to fix it. And we're balling. A little back. When unity was in power, when they had the falling out with Sean and Timothy and they, and you compare the country then to the country now, even though things were mashing up under the unity, things were much better. Things were much better under the unity because people had money in their pockets. And you tell me you're going to fix it. And we're balling.
My Straight Talk family, I had to play that twice so you can sink in. But what can we say but sound speech that cannot be condemned? Because that's the cry of everyone. People are bawling, according to the big lies. And someone asked me a question on my last program, what I think about big lies. And I said we need more big lies in the country. Except sometimes I don't know how he does it. He would extend these criticisms, but he would say, July is his friend. I guess that is his option, my Straight Talk family. But he's so right. And we can reflect on the team unity. When a hurricane ravaged the country and everybody's roof was repaired, every Tutmun and Sam's roof was repaired. And there were statements of endorsement like this one, my Straight Dog family.
Under the former government, I would have never get such thing done because I am a PAM and now I am a unity supporter, strong. Thank God for the unity government this morning. And I say thanks. I like to say thanks to the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris. Thanks very much. Right now my roof has no leaks, and when rain come before, it used to leak plenty. Thank God.
And that was the modus operandi of the Team Unity administration. It mattered not whether they were PAM, Labour, CCM or NRP, or PLP. You had a problem, the problem was addressed. My Straight Talk family. Even St. Paul's, I journeyed to St. Paul's, and so many roofs were repaired down in the heartland of Labour, because unity was not about politics. Unity was about people. The poverty alleviation program was for everyone who qualified and needed it, my Straight Talk family. Yes, it was not perfect, and no system is perfect. But how can you just come and displace thousands of poor people? Thousands of poor people. Reduce the PAP from $500, my Straight Dog family, to $200, I think it is, my Straight Dog family. And recall I shared a conversation I had with a lady who was literally kicked off the PAP, my Straight Dog family. Kicked off the PAP, like I said, kicked off. And when I say kicked off, literally kicked off the PAP. When she said this to me just about a week ago, my Straight Dog family. This lady said this to me, my Straight Dog family. Here's what she said. And this epitomizes what's going on with poor people.
They turned me away from my job, right? And 3 months later, they said they thought they take away $500. And when I go and I asked them, they said I'm on the threshold. So I want to know what it means. In February, March, they stopped me from working. And then now in June, they take away the $500 from me. They say I'm on the threshold. They call me week before and ask me who living in the house with me. I said my sister. I said she on the odd job stuff. That's it. I have paid the electricity and the cable bill. She don't have any penny bills in me to do it.
On the threshold, my Straight Dog family, and thousands kicked off the PAP. When Team Unity and Timothy Harris and his team were in office, people had more money in their pockets. We were safer, my Straight Talk family. 9 years ago, the fiscal decision to eliminate VAT on food and other items gave people more disposable income. And it's obvious, low VAT rates on essential items stimulated economic activity. It increased consumer spending on necessities and boosted demand in the economy, benefiting businesses and potentially creating more job opportunities, which indirectly benefited the poor people. That's not going on now. Not at all. I can never forget the way this ordinary citizen had put it before me. She said, Patches, when we took the 17% off of VAT off food, she said, my $100 bill can now give me 4 or 5 pounds of chicken. That's what she said to me. She can't say that now. On the July and his incompetent team, no. CBI money was spent on everything and everybody because it is our passport and our money. I know somebody lost their job because their family did or don't support labor. And as a neighbor, and her family lives in luxury. The neighbor is now chairman of the board of a government institution. And I know that chairperson very well. And this neighbor has 4 vehicles. 4 vehicles parked outside her yard. 3 SUVs and 1 car. Her husband drives an SUV, she drives an SUV, and her son drives an SUV and her daughter a car. But another neighbor across the road from this labor family can't buy bread when it's the passport money is what is paying July. So why should he deprive another family, my Straight Dog family? Why is the question we ask. These are the realities in our country. But Buddy Darby, a foreigner, comes here with an empty briefcase and a jacket over his khaki pant, borrows money from National Bank, and a member from the law firm that represented the bank, National Bank, sat in the meeting with the bank and Buddy Darby. Did not say one word except to ask for a timeout. And this well-known King's Counsel went outside the meeting with Buddy Darby. And when they came back inside the meeting, Buddy Darby raised the section of the loan agreement which states that Christopher Harbour must pay periodically. Could you imagine that, my Straight Dog family? The law firm for the National Bank is the same law firm for Christopher Harbour, and agreed, this King's Counsel, with Buddy Darby that there is no definition for periodically. Could you imagine that, my Straight Dog family? A clear conflict of interest. The mice guarding the cheese. So Buddy Darby has not paid 1 cent to National Bank for 6 years, my Straight Dog family. You heard of the story that they owed Skellig millions of dollars and offered to swap land for the debt owed to Skellig. That I confirm, not in my time, long after. my time he would have had to pay my Straight Talk family. The National Bank gone to court with Buddy Darby. But the administration has changed. And a new advisor to the government that controls 51% of the shares, and that's legal advisor to the government, once worked with the same law firm. The same law firm, my Straight Dog family, that has a conflict of interest because it holds briefs for the bank as well. Did this advisor, this chief advisor, advise the Minister of Finance to instruct the board to pull the case, my Straight Talk family? But the situation as we speak is Christoph Harbour has not paid anything, not 1 cent, on the loan it borrowed from National Bank for 6 years, my Straight Talk family. Not 1 cent has Christoph Harbour paid.
National Bank is described as the systemic bank, largest bank in the OECS. Problems there. The IMF in the report is saying National Bank has the largest non-performing loan of all the banks in the entire currency union. That is a challenge to its regulation. Who are these people? Because none of us in here, a few of us, are national. It's people like Christoph Harbour that owes, I'm told, $130 million. And I am told that National Bank has written off $130 million for a foreign entity. And you, the ordinary man struggling, want a business loan, want a mortgage. You can't get no support from National Bank. And you tell me that National Bank, well, I don't know what kind of board they have, would write off $130 million.
My Straight Talk family, Christoph Harbour sold 10 slips at the marina at US $2 million each. But the agreement, Straight Talk understands, calls for payments to be made to the bank from the sale of the 11th slip, beg your pardon. But suddenly, the remaining slips were not sold. They were rented, my Straight Talk family. Not sold, but they were rented. Would you believe that, my Straight Talk family?
Christoph Harbour comes to our country with nothing, literally. Take loan from National Bank, doesn't pay, and the bank quickly write it off.
And my Straight Talk family, suddenly, as I said, the remaining slips were not sold. But the IMF report is very clear. The IMF in its Article 4 report stated, and I quote, "The financial system should be strengthened." It said the government should restructure the systemic bank. The systemic bank is the National Bank, the St. Kitts, Nevis and Anguilla National Bank, referred to as the systemic bank in the report. It goes on, provisions and capital for all banks should meet the ECCB regulatory minimum, and long-standing non-performing loans be addressed. My Straight Dog family. Banks unable to meet regulatory minimums, it continues, should continue to work closely with the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank through a clear and monitorable capital restoration plan. And when you look at the financial statements of the bank, very clear, my Straight Talk family. Look in the bottom left-hand corner, or the bottom corner on these notes, right to the bottom left. It reads, and I quote, the gross impaired loans at the end of the period 2023 was $404 million and $46,000, my Straight Talk family. Gross impaired loans at the bank, my Straight Talk family. Yet this administration boasts about a suite of good governance legislation passed in Parliament in 2023. But that does not guarantee compliance. Look at crime, for example. They went and passed this draconian legislation, and now we have 17 murders. Our streets were safer before, but the undoing of the Team Unity Alternative Lifestyle or Peace program changed everything. They revised it to something called Elevate. And so said, so done. The crime rate has been elevated from a low of 10 murders that July inherited to a high of 56 murders under his short term in office thus far, my Straight Dog family. But even more troubling, though, is the CBI, the Citizenship by Investment Program, my Straight Dog family. And there was a conference over the last week under the theme Connect, Collaborate, and Celebrate. And the CEO spoke about an evolution, my Straight Dog family. He said this:
we continuously look for ways to innovate and strengthen our already watertight program, because we take seriously our position as the spearhead of the citizenship by investment industry. The protection, adaptability, and resilience of our program is paramount, and so we continue to evolve it.
My Straight Dog family, July claimed that the CBI is responsible for our high ranking on the Human Development Index. For once, he may be correct.
Has contributed significantly to our development and what you see. St. Kitts and Nevis today has the highest Human Development Index in the CARICOM. Our Human Development Index is higher than most of the countries that might be more known, such as Bahamas, Jamaica, Barbados, Guyana, and so forth. And this industry has contributed significantly.
My Straight Dog family, but the so-called engineer, Congress Maynard, also spoke at the summit. Yes, the so-called engineer, my Straight Dog family, spoke at the summit. So we asked a question, a very pertinent question. Who did the so-called engineer Congress Maynard represent at this summit? And that brings us to the issues of transparency and conflict of interest that arise. And it is crucial to address the transparency concerns, my Straight Dog family. A cabinet minister, Congress Maynard, being a CBI service provider, must raise questions about potential conflicts of interest, my Straight Dog family. Must, has to. What regulations, we ask, and ethical guidelines are there to ensure that so-called engineer Congress Maynard does not exploit his position in the cabinet for personal gains. What are they? What are the regulations and guidelines, my straight dog family? Soko engineer Conris Maynard is a well-known service provider. We know that. We know his relationship with the Park Hyatt development. We understand there's a budding relationship now with the Creative Arts Center that would be soon constructed, we are told. The evidence is clear, my straight dog family, pellucid, as I said before. And I submit tonight that it's important to assess whether the minister's involvement with the CBI complies with legal and ethical standards set for public officials. There should be strict adherence to laws governing public office and potential conflicts of interest to maintain public trust and confidence. But what we have here are mice guarding the cheese, my straight dog family. But when it comes to legal and ethical standards, Attorney General Garth Wilkin has already failed us. And that can be easily verified with a simple search of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court records. Go there if you doubt me, my straight dog family. He has already failed us. Disgrace Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin.
Maybe Mr. Wilkin should be disclosing what's happened. Maybe Mr. Wilkin should disclose that he had failed to pay Social Security benefits for 15 months on one occasion, on another occasion for 5 months, and another one for about three or 4 months. And all of that is contrary to the law. And it is not a simple matter of just saying, oh, you just pay the fines. Because what you expose yourself to there is criminal action. And isn't this something that should be told to everybody? That if you do not pay your Social Security benefits, you are liable to be prosecuted. You hold yourself up for that possibility.
Yes, he should have been prosecuted. But I can tell you, my straight dog family, Garth Lucifer Wilkin has not changed. He has not changed one bit, has not changed one iota, as some friend of mine used to say. Because he referred to the prison project as a scam. Remember this, my straight dog family. He referred to the prison project as a scam. As his WhatsApp messages to the advisor of the convicted felon who has taken out a RICO lawsuit have been used as evidence, my straight dog family. He said the prison project he referred to as a scam. But would you believe, my straight dog family, without any shame, as we say, his shame box got to mash up. Without any shame, he made an application to the court to block. Full disclosure, my straight dog family. He made application to block this, my straight dog family. He made application to block this. To block this fixed date claim, my straight dog family, which came up on the court, civil court registry and was heard briefly just a few days ago, sometime last week, my straight dog family. Remember this. So why would he block disclosure? Why would he block transparency, my straight dog family? His aim, I submit, is to hide the 22,000 certificates of registration that was signed by July who came with some flimsy excuse, very flimsy excuse, my straight dog family. And instead of confessing and giving up and humbling himself before the country, he's hiding his nonsense about setup.
Madam Speaker, I said that in 2020 to 2023, as a result of 5,500 CBI units issued for the prison project, I am informed that 166 passports have been issued to citizens by investment in the last 2 years, Madam Speaker. Set up the government. Set up the government with this, Madam Speaker.
He doesn't want disclosure, my straight dog family, because when the matter is disclosed, you will find the signature of Terence Michael July on every single certificate of registration. 22,000 of them. I asked myself, how long did you take to sign all those CORs, Terence Drew? But Straight Talk demands transparency and accountability to prevent abuse of power or influence of these ministers in cabinet, because there's clear conflict of interest. The mice are guarding the cheese. And that's my story tonight, my Straight Dog family, and I am not going to change it. I will open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. But I always like to implore you that before I do open the lines, which I will in a few seconds or momentarily, I implore you to respect others, and to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us try to build goodwill and better friendships, my Straight Dog family. Let us, my Straight Dog family, try to do the things that will help to build goodwill and better friendships. And in saying and doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, I go to the lines at 5 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour and say good night to my first caller. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Thank you, Patches. Good night. Good night to all the listeners.
Good night, sir.
Good night to all the new ones who are trying to get some light of what's going on in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Having said that, Patches, and all people who are listening, I have done some observation on all the commentary of the ruling administration now. And also, I've listened from beginning to end a replay of the press conference with PLP. And backtracking, I always stated that I am not a member of any party. But when I do comparison and contrast, I think Team Unity under Dr. Timothy Harris was the best of all. But the best always yet to come. I quote, the best always yet to come. The observation with this administration now is so bad, and I bleed for the people who had a little thing going, hoping for better to become, but to get a sledgehammer, and not a sledgehammer with a man with a sledgehammer, a machine sledgehammer, to sink them below than anything you could imagine. The country is in such a bad situation that people has problem even buying a loaf of bread, more or less a sardine. What this administration is doing, I had listened to their promise, and their promise was just like taking people to make them fools. They failed badly. And what is the fix? The fix is not nowhere near, because all these talking, nothing is being doing. Okay? And the country they have wasted a lot of CBI money that should have been invested in the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And I beg to move that whosoever become leader of whatever party, leader of the federation, will restore these benefits and even better moving forward. Okay? St. Kitts is actually sinking, and it's sinking. Okay? We need a buoy to afloat St. Kitts right now. And I can tell you, I have looked at all other parties, and I had said I will not be a member of any party. I will maintain my stance of an independent party. But first of all, I will join with Harris. I will collaborate with Harris to make things better. Last but not least, the allegations that has been alleged on Harris, I hope they are lies, and he will be come out of this victoriously. But whether I am with another party, I will rather collaborate with Harris, because the man has experience, the man has knowledge, and he is the best of the best. Everyone has problems.
Okay.
Thank you. I will come again.
Thank you.
Later. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your intervention. We do have some callers on hold here. Let me see. Let's take this caller. You're live. Hello, caller. Yes, caller.
Martin.
How are you, sir? How is the Bible man?
Well, the Bible man is wonderful. I'm telling you something. Why? What is... wow. Why?
What's on the mind?
What's on the mind? Doing something. You don't know what, why? Well, thank God for life, Patrick.
Yes, we all do. We all do, my brother.
Thank God for life, Patrick.
Yes, we all do. We all do, Bible man. We all do. Thank God for life. Yes. Yeah.
He that dwelleth in the secret place
the Most
of the Most High shall abide under the
shadow.
Mighty.
Yes.
I will say to the Lord, He is my refuge, my fortress. In God will I trust.
Yes.
Surely He shall deliver me from the snares of the fowler, and from the noise of the pestilence. He shall cover me with His feathers, under His wings I will trust.
Yes.
His truth shall be my shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night, nor the hour that flieth by day, nor the pestilence that walk in darkness, nor the destruction that come at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, 10,000 at thy right hand, it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes thou shalt behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge,
and my
even my most high habitation. There shall no evil fall thee, neither any plague shall come nigh thy dwelling. Mr. Patrick, good night.
Okay. Good night, my dear brother. Thank you for your intervention, your biblical intervention. We always look forward to that. As one, you have a big fan in Guyana, I must tell you, the Bible man, who just sent me a message and said that you had her cracking up. So all the way from Guyana, Mr. Bibleman, you do have your fans. Caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller. What am I doing here? Oh, my. Oh. Caller, I'm so sorry. I inadvertently disconnected you. I was trying to swap this call, so if you are still there, please call back. That's 663-6672. I was saying, Bible man, you have fans all the way in Guyana just hailing it. Let's go to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Liburd.
Good evening, my dear.
The quote this evening: if a man is proud of his wealth, he should not be praised until it is known how he employs it. I repeat, if a man is proud of his wealth, he should not be praised until it is known how he employs it. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much. Yes, my should not be praised until he knows how he employs it. Yes, caller. I'm sorry about that. Thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Good evening.
Good evening, my dear.
How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
I'm good.
Is this the dimple lady? Oh, you sound, you sound, you sound so different tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good to hear. Good to hear as usual. And it was good seeing you as well. I saw you yesterday.
That's good. See you too.
Yes.
Okay. That is, I would like you to find out some things for me, what I'm going to tell you right now. I was listening to a radio station today, and he had on a gentleman. I would like you to find out where he from, what work he doing, where he lives. Because the custom after Harris don't have his press conference, July just cut in with he won the next day. And it's strange today that this gentleman come in and start to talk a lot of crap. So I would like to know where he works, where he lives, and after he say he works with you, FIS, the SBI them for, what are the SBI, the man, the people, them, they sort of where you go to get money and what's that. I thought he said he worked there for 20 years with them. And he come out with a 50-page paper and reading all sorts and all kind of things, telling my Lord and lies. And then, you know, Miss Henry cut in and start to asking some question. And when he done, he couldn't go with Miss Henry. So they tried to cut off Miss Henry and tell Miss Henry, we have more people here waiting. So, see you. And they cut off Miss Henry. Please, to find out with that gentleman, because that gentleman there look like he's somebody sent him, somebody paid him, as the master said. It will be something for something. Have a good night, Patrick.
Have a good night as well, my dear. Always good to hear you. Blessed love, Mr. Patches reads this email. Me and my friend missed the rebroadcast of Live Mondays, and we usually watch it the next day in the morning, but it was cancelled because of some sports copyright. But I hope you sort out this time around, because I missed your show. It's sweet, so sweet, like watching my favorite power shows, and love to hear when caller call in. And one particular person said, all you call in, man, you're really on point with the facts. Yes, we had a copyright issue, but that matter is sorted out. I think the episode is up on on social media right now. Good night, Patches reads this email. Many are muted and dumbfounded, but many are also talking of the rating of the Jew administration from an A to F and F to F. They are all given F as the country continued to go downwards and backwards. They came begging to us for our votes with countless promises. No ideas, no vision, nor vision. And not one of them have been fulfilled, and now we are the ones who continue to beg them. Many are getting at the young people for venturing into many things to support themselves and for everyday survival and to also boost the economy. For the government is not doing it. For nothing going on in St. Kitts except these functions. The loss of jobs and income have been denied by many, so they are out there creating their own jobs, etc. Look at the PAP, where many elders were robbed from $500 to $250, and many were thrown out. So where is this money going? And with the reduction of recipients from the program as well. The entire Jew administration have gotten A in photo ops, traveling, pompousness, boastfulness, no humility, promises, mismanagement of government funds, etc. And F in reduction of fees, price in CBI program, competition or not, and lies and more lies. Reduction in promises of $1,500 from $500 now to $250. A very stupid and cunning move to reduce recipients and benefits. The same people that generally head in various vehicles on election day and only remember them the next election. Some of these same benefits gonna come back on stream next election to comfort the people to be taken away again. Giving themselves not only the whole bread but 5 whole bread of 41% increase, and hard-working civil servants 8%, which is less than the crumbs from the table. No tangible investments, but seeking future loans from lending agencies like IMF for taxpayers to repay, not them. Shame on us for voting for you, and shame on you for doing nothing new. Sweet talk on the smart houses, smart hospital, etc., and nothing doing. They are like misers when it comes to their own money and spendthrifts with the country's money. They are not even repairing, restoring, cleansing the public spaces, thus causing so much mold, sickness, and death. When you speak on the things affecting our people, they tend to say you hate the government, but people must always come first, and come first before government. We put you there to be the servants of and to the people, not servants to your pockets, friends, and families. You play or sing the song, get rid of them. They are angry. But I'm told my good Labour friend, it's gonna come right back to haunt them, and so said, so done. Let's go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes. Good evening.
How are you?
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I'm great, man. I'm great. I miss you Monday, and you miss me. No, I did not miss you. You missed me Monday. But let me tell everybody, as usual, who listening to this wonderful, informative program, good evening. Special friends. How are you? Can't call name tonight, because we have too many issues to talk about in this country here. Not time to wait. No, Patty, this thing here with this mole, all of government building them have mole. If not all, 99% of them got mole. And you're gonna tell me that this Mickey Mouse Sesame Street government send somebody go clean the post office with the mole them. They went 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, and then opening Monday, and think the mole gone. It ain't so people deal with mole. You clean the mole, and then you clean the wall, and then you repaint the wall. Kill the mole out. But you see, it's not them. They don't care. They cannot catch any mole in Chinket because they live in plain. And plain ain't got in a mole. So they don't care about who live on the earth in Chinket. Up the airport there with that soundboard where you play. Up there where Congress men are at offices. Send home some of those workers from upstairs where he is. Because mole in the whole building. But they still got those working downstairs up there working. What they want to do? Everybody catch mole and dead. Catch it quick and dead quick. Catch it quick and dead. They got no money to pay the people them. That's why they don't want to send home those downstairs who were affected by the mole because they ain't got no money to pay them. Now let me go to this Christopher Harbour business. You're gonna tell me that man they come here broke, look a rat, and get $22 million to borrow from our local national bank, the most powerful bank in the OECS countries, and then they're gonna write off that. And when a poor person, you got your little chicken coop house, you only miss 3 months or 2 months or whatever, bank come, send go right upon it to sell it and harassing you. People, what happening up there in Israel and Gaza Strip, it is a flow that people not tolerating. And the flow there, it's trickling down, it's reaching down. It's time for everybody to stop talk. There is no talking competition in Olympics. Otherwise, think it will win the gold medal. It is time to put foot on the asphalt and demonstrate, protest, and show these Mickey Mouse people what that is wrong, and we're not going to tolerate it no more. Patches, I'll come back because I want a lot of people get the time to talk.
Okay.
I'll be back, brother.
Thank you very much for your intervention. We go straight back to the lines. Yes, caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Hi, good night, Patches.
Good night, sir.
Yeah, I would like to know, right, from July, about the 200 investors. He said he got waiting just to sign to bring jobs here. I don't hear him talk about that anymore. And he said that during the campaign. And also he said he's not talking about the business out at Bozante will close down and the brush factory that's supposed to close down by December this year. How come he not bringing these stuff to the country? And I also wonder if you have any provision in place for all these people who are going to be home, who are going to be out of jobs.
Which factory going to be closed, you said?
The brush factory.
Oh, the brush factory. Okay.
Yeah, by December of this year. I'm not hearing talking about that. And where he going to do with these people? What provision going to be in place for them? They got children to feed. They got bills.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting.
Also, July, for the hotel workers and factory workers, restaurant workers again, said during the dull season when nothing doing, you get 3 days off, reduced hours. The government going to subsidize. That can't happen up to now for 2 years. And he don't even come on and say nothing to us to let us know what's going on. I mean, the country is real hard. It's real hard how July got this country running. Yeah, this is the worst anybody ever think it's ever been run. These a bunch of amateurs just need to move. They need to move. They need to be out now. He don't know what he's doing. The most he could do is just grin. That's the best job he could do, grin. And then I would like you to play over the tape, the part again about, I don't want to say the wrong thing because I ain't got the money for that suit, about the, whatever the rate for Christopher Harbour National Bank, and then, poor people like me and you and whoever can't even get these loans. But these big, giant, multi-million-dollar companies could be getting these kind of monies and write-off. I mean, this one shocked me, man. This one you got made out in me. So I would like you if you could play that again if you have the time.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Thanks a lot for your intervention, my dear brother. And that's what we have straight talk, so people can really vent their feelings, because we have to give vent to our feelings, and we have to keep these elected officials honest. You have to keep them honest. Like I said before, and you mentioned the investors. Where are the investors? Remember, yes, he said this, my family. He did say this about the investors.
It's quite interesting that after the elections, a number of investors came forward. And they said, Dr. Joe, we had been waiting to invest in St. Kitts and Nevis. And they said, why you didn't do it then? And they said they couldn't do it under the last administration. So we are looking at that, so they'll have more, foreign investment that would help to stir the economy.
Yes, and by request as well, you made this request about the Christopher Harbour issues with the National Bank.
National Bank is described as the systemic bank, largest bank in the OECS. Problems there. The IMF in the report is saying National Bank has the largest non-performing loan of all the banks in the entire currency union. That is a challenge to its regulation. Who are these people? Because none of us in here, a few of us, are national. It's people like Christopher Harbour that owes, I'm told, $130 million. And I am told that National Bank has written off $130 million for a foreign entity. And you, the ordinary man struggling, want a business loan, want a mortgage. You can't get no support from National Bank. And you tell me that National Bank, well, I don't know what kind of board they have, would write off $130 million.
Yes, my Shizak family, go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Yeah, Mr. Liburd, man. Good evening, man. How you doing, man?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Straight to the issues tonight, man. Yeah, let's go back to the big lights from last night. Big lights did mention about a marijuana board that was put into place.
Mm-hmm.
Denzel Douglas is mentioned being on that board. One person from Nevis. You know what I mean? We need to get somebody different than the foreign minister on that board. You know, what does these guys got experience in marijuana? And undoubtedly, that board going to need somebody else, some more members from the Nevis side, not just one person. It's time for, the torch to be passed down to the young people. You know what I mean? We have so much young people qualified that went to school and came back, and they're not getting in some of these big positions. They're not getting in these big positions. They're qualified too. The money gotta trickle down to the common man. The money just can't be staying in the politicians' hands and them lawyers' hands and those so-called agents who's representing the country with the CBI program. Everything in St. Kitts and Nevis is revolving around money right about now. The poor is screaming out. I'm calling out the Prime Minister again tonight to come clean with the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Stop guarding those bad eggs and those bad apples around him. Those advisors that he got who are all seems to be retirees, they need to be replaced. They need to make room for the younger people. Younger people, it's time to step up. The Prime Minister's role, any leader's role, is to uplift the people, empower the people, and raise their quality of living. It seems like the quality of living for the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis is going downhill.
True.
And me, myself, personally, I want to pick up Big Lights from last night Big Lights came out last night, and for the first time, I have heard the first person who is mentioning anything about having a protest. And I hope that he make that happen. He said on August 9th, after the Culturama, he's going to try to make an attempt to go in the street and Bastille. Really and truly, this is the 7th week since those RICO cases was filed. Not one man moving St. Kitts and Nevis yet in terms of a protest against all of these massive allegations of corruption.
Okay.
You know, they should probably put Big Lights or anybody else should probably put a protest on during that Culturama period when all the massive amounts of foreigners is in the place. So people can be educated about what's going on in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Okay, my brother.
We just need some honest politicians, man.
Sure.
And one other thing quickly before you go, the dividend that I've been mentioning, Big Lights actually mentioned that again last night. And with all of the monies that has been collected through the CBI program since its inception, the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis have deserved to get a dividend payment since the inception of that CBI program in 1984. Dr. Ju came in and used that as a political gimmick, and now they're rolling all the promises, all of these things that they campaigned on and they had in their manifesto. They're rolling it back.
Okay.
Anything to do with money, so that's supposed to hit the common man.
Okay.
And I hope and pray when we don't see last December, they only gave half of the bonus.
Okay.
You know what I mean? This year, no dividend is coming. And I hope by all God, when next year get here, that minimum wage increase, they don't mess with that.
Okay.
Because Patches, I'm going to tell you right now, that shit is in jeopardy. Excuse my language.
Okay.
That minimum wage increase that's promised to come next year, June, 25 June, is in jeopardy already.
Okay.
And I want to see a peaceful protest happen in St. Kitts and Nevis and a common Big Lights, and I hope we get that done, because as the information is coming out, the people going to need a relief, and a peaceful protest going to have to happen to stop the violent protest from coming later.
Okay.
And that's my contribution tonight, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for your contribution as usual. And yes, the marijuana board is a very large board, composed of some 15 people, and a very strange appointment. That's the senior minister. This was a policy that ministers don't really serve on boards. So that's a departure from policy of long standing. But that's under July. Good night, Patches. I understand that the Newtown contractor and Cashley Allers had a big fallout over the construction of the houses at East Street. Cashley handing all the money, so the work apparently ceased, I heard. Cashley has to survive on the labor, no matter who is in charge, with this email. Good night, Patches. Would you join the march on August 9th with the Big Lights? I hope to see you then, reads this other email. Good night, Patches. Can you imagine that the wicked, insecure Prime Minister and Minister of Health, Dr. Ju, continues to victimize qualified, experienced civil servants in the country after nearly 3 years, his last victim being the health planner, Sylvester Bell, who he sent home. Dr. Ju is so stupid and devious as a person, he has managed to destroy the whole of the health administration because he feels that the persons he met there don't support him. Dr. Ju will suffer the biggest defeat come the next election because victimization and petty politics went down the drain when the Douglas administration was run out of power in 2015. But now Ju want to bring it back. Well, Dr. Ju, can I give you some news? Dirty politics and government are two separate entities. And because you fail to realize this, you will continue to be known as the worst prime minister, and according to the Big Lights, your former advisor, you can't get anything done, and you get an F grade. The general public is saying this is the worst the country have been since independence in 1983. Get rid of them. Get rid Dr. Drew, the worst thing ever happened to St. Kitts and Nevis, reads this email. Dear Patches, I listened to an interview with the CEO of Social Security recently about the reform of the fund. This man is all fancy talk and more talk. Absolutely no substance and sense. Before he talks reform, he needs to tell the current and potential pensioners, and in fact the entire country, about the $140 million owed to Social Security by several prominent businessmen and women in this country, most of which are Labour supporters. Patches Mark Brantley's Nevis Island administration owes Social Security hundreds of thousands of dollars in contributions. The Director of Social Security nor the government cannot ask poor people in this country to pay a higher contribution rate or to wait later to get their pension when these businesses are owing such large sums. We will demonstrate in this country. If this happens, the CEO and the Social Security Board must know this. They have to do more with less. Why does he want to pay more in contribution fees and wait longer for their pension when the first thing he did when he took office is to buy a vehicle cost over $300,000, which was not necessary, and to hire several political supporters of the Labour government? This is not a talking competition. The director needs to shut up and get real. It's about strategic thinking and implementing the correct strategies. According to the actuary, administration cost needs to be cut drastically. Hiring more political staff will not cut it either. The wishy-washy reform will go nowhere in the country until the squandering and wastage down Social Security stopped. And until Social Security stop taking the small man to court, but send the Labour supporters and Mark Brantley, NIA, before the court. Reads this email. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, thank you for holding your line. Hello, caller.
Yes, thank you, Patches, again. Let me turn down my apparatus. Give me 1 minute. Okay, sorry about that. This is, I'm going to announce my name again. This is Winston Welcome from the wonderful village of Molyneux. But I had thought of running in 7. But you know what? I think we need Dr. Harris to sustain constituency 7. And I am challenging anyone in number 8. Number 8 is weak, and number 8 will be beaten. There is not a chance for number 8 to surface again in this next election moving forward. They have failed. They have made bad decisions. They are surrounded by poorly done advisors. Nothing is in them for the good of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, more or less constituency 8. I am challenging number 8, as I had said earlier. So Dr. Harris, rest in peace. I will collaborate with you. I will collaborate with PLP. Big Lies, I have a message for you. We were classmates at Kayan High School months ago. I'm asking you to campaign for me. I will join you. I will see you. And I will let you know my demeanor. A challenge to number 8, not 7. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. I wish you all the best. Mr. Welcome, Winston Welcome, for your interest. We do need people to serve. Good night, Mr. Patches. Reads this email. How long will it take the Pierce or whoever to start giving people their pricing letter for the land given out in 2022? Is this email? What? Same old story, eh? Good night, Patches. Is Broyo coming home for Culturama? Once he lands, he had to start talking like he's supposed to me in a Nevis culture. Reads this email. Good night, Patches. I can see the port from where I live. This tourist season is the worst I have seen in years. Thank God for the icon of the seas. I can imagine the hardship these taxi drivers are experiencing. They gave themselves a 33% increase. Hard reads this email. Now it's 9:42, some 28 minutes, is it? What am I saying? 18 minutes before the 10 o'clock hour. And you may have joined me late, but tonight our thesis we considered conflict of interest. The mice guarding the cheese. And we looked at the issues of good governance, my Straight Talk family. We looked at the clear conflict of interest and highlighted an issue where we had a major firm in this country representing the National Bank and representing Buddy Derby. How that could be? But it happened in St. Kitts and Nevis. And it happened here. But let's go back to the lines. I'll get back to that. Caller, I want to thank you for holding your line. Hello, caller?
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Patches. Now, Patches, I want to tell all the listeners, them listen this. Jesus Christ do not like liars. And Dr. Joe, all you do when you're talking to people, you're grinning. Because in your heart, you're laughing after who listening to you. You tell so much lies that you make Dr. Douglas look like a Christian. Now you're going to tell me Gad Wilkin break the law 3 times and he ain't even went by 1840 gate go see how it is. And them 2 brothers on Old Road, they happen to be involved with something with Social Security. I don't support wrong. When you're wrong, you're wrong. But if you're going to do that to the small, poor man, what happened to Gad Wilkin? That because he named Attorney General, in the GLD ain't got no exception. All who supposed to go in there supposed to walk through that gate. This man Terrence Joe, he got the country like a dictator country, and he's operating like a dictator. You're gonna tell me anybody ain't supporting the name Labour, what he say he is, and he's not a Labour. He gonna turn them away, whether they work in your or not. Well, brother, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And Dr. Harris, I am asking you, the whole island want you. Everybody saying, we want back Harris, we want back Harris. Dr. Harris, please lead the way. You're going to get more than Joe way. When you get out on the street, whenever Big Law is ready, I'm going to try my best to make sure I get out there for my wheelchair. Because I mean, this Mickey Mouse man here, who don't know how to run a government, mashing up the government, don't mash up the country, and we got to do what we got to do legally to get him out of here. Marijuana, these amount of names on the marijuana thing, some of them never even hold a split in the hand yet. What do you know about marijuana? There is a lot of educated marijuana smokers, rastas and non-rastas who know about marijuana. They should have been on the board, a lot of them, but he picking out friends and put them there on board with marijuana. And then conflict of interest. You're going to tell me a minister in cabinet, in government, on the board too? No, we can't tolerate this no more. And you have to go. You ain't going to last no 2 years, no 5, no 1 term. You're going to get out before the year done. Anyway, Patrick, have a good night. Thank you very much. I'm so angry. I'm going to do what I have to do to get him out of there. Legally. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you. I can feel your pain, my dear brother. And for those who joined us late, and for those who are joining us for the first time, we trust and hope it won't be your last time. But just to inform you that Straight Talk is heard every Monday and Thursday from 8 to 10 in the PM. We do have our discussions on a particular thesis or dissertation, short dissertation, And tonight we looked at conflict of interest. That was titled, the title of our dissertation or thesis, conflict of interest, mice garden cheese. We focus on the CBI to a great extent. But when we examine where our country has gone in just 2 years, we've gone back to the last century, believe it or not. Many regret the decisions made in 2022. And 2 years later, it seems as though the coronavirus is back. As we heard, Biden got the COVID. But things are much worse now when compared to the period during COVID-19. The only difference is we don't have to wear a mask and be locked down at this time. But many have said that this is the July pandemic and things are worse. Even his big fan said this, my Straight Dog family.
A little back. When unity was in power, when they had the falling out with Sean and Timothy and they, and you compare the country then to the country now, even though things were mashing up under the unity, things were much better. Things were much better under the unity because people had money in their pockets. And you tell me you're going to fix it. And we're balling.
Yes, let's go back to the lines. I thank this caller for holding. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Yeah, hey Patches, can you allow me to say something about the cricket scene? Just like a minute or something, please.
Yeah, but I'm running out of time, so I'm guided by the rules of brevity. Can you use a minute? No more than that.
Yeah, Michael Louis, congratulations to him.
Mm-hmm.
I would encourage him. I spoke to a friend of mine, and he wanted me to say this on the air. Michael Louis, I would encourage him to try to get a deal up in one of those county cricket teams up in England and make that money now rather than stunting his growth there in the federation. And him and his brother and all the rest guys and ladies as well in the federation that has that skill playing cricket, who's very talented at that cricket game. I would empower them to try to get outside of the federation and get them contracts and make some real money while they're young in the game, and not to hesitate and to wait and waste their talent there in the federation. Michael Louis, the powers may be, should think about putting his name on Warner Park. Take that Warner name down and put Michael's name up on that Warner Park. And his brother and the rest youngsters who's excelling, maybe they can get their name instilled on the stands around the ground, including his brother. And also, lastly, Michael, he should maybe get some bats, some jumbo bats, get some memorabilia, for himself. Especially, he should get some type of contract with a company to mass produce a jumbo bat in his name. And lastly, over on the Nevis end, I need to see Derek Parry and Livingston Sargent be acknowledged in their home village of Cotton Ground. And I understand that there's a mural going up on the walls of Grove Park. I'm not sure. I haven't clarified that yet. But I'm asking El Comito Willett to think about, putting Livingston Sargent picture up on that mural. And they need to get some statues erected inside of that El Comito Willett Park. I need Livingston Sargent to get acknowledged in his own home country some more. And thanks a lot, man. You have a good night. Thanks.
Thank you for your intervention. Yes, we do associate ourselves with those comments. But as we wind down tonight's program tonight, my Straight Talk family, as I said, and I'll read this email first. Patches, good night. for the individual who just called about Harris running in number 7, there is a young man in number 7 currently being nurtured to run in 7 because Harris intends to run in 8, according to how the cookie crumbles. I read this email that's interested my Straight Dog family. But as we wind down tonight's program, our thesis we titled Conflict of Interest, Mice Guarding the Cheese. And it is common knowledge, it is everybody, it's saying the same thing. And Red Sparrow says 50 million Frenchmen can't be wrong. But things are hard. And we reflect on the Team Unity years. And I mentioned earlier, politics mean a difference. If you're poor and qualified for assistance, on the Team Unity, you got assistance. The PAP, the hurricane ravaged the country and everybody's roof was repaired. I remember this old man in Newton Ground when we had a town hall meeting there. He got up and he said this. Many people laughed, but he was talking from his heart when he said this.
I am not talking about Corona. I am not talking about ships. I am talking and giving thanks for the roof that I get fixed from this community. I used to live in a house. I used to have 3 buckets in 1 chair. I could not sleep. I had to make a trip. This one full, we move. The other one full, we move when we went falling hard. I lying down at the time, I seen the sunshine. At night time, the moonlight coming through the roof. The pieces of roof them dropping down like biscuit. And this government, Team Unity, put it just like I want it. That the first night, I sleep. I was asleep till the morning. The sunrise, I didn't say no. So, I come to the mic to thank Team Unity whole cabinet for the aggressive and their good work. For I couldn't afford to buy 1 pound of nail.
And that was the testimony of an old man, I recall, at Newton Ground. But the revenue was derived from CBI, foreign direct investment. That's where or when the first set of dividends were paid. $500 and the $1,000, what I call monkey money, was not the first time we paid dividend. Dividend was paid years ago. CBI money was spent on everything and everybody because it is our passport and our money. What's happening now, my Straight Dog family? There's a lady who is a chairman of Bird Rock. Yes. Dismissed another young lady with a young son, had a mortgage to pay. She forgot the days when her husband supplied all the computers to every ministry in government. She's back. She's back like Sobers in the second test. And batting and disrespecting young people. It's when you drive by, she has 4 vehicles parked in and outside of her yard. 3 SUVs, better come for her. But her neighbors in Bodrock, some have lost their $500. Can't get their pension topped up. But depriving other people of living. Go to the St. Kitts Nevis and Anguilla National Bank. A foreigner borrows money. But does not pay it back. $130 million of the people's money. A clear conflict of interest. When the King's Council from this law firm around the square sits in a meeting with Buddy Darby and the bank and represents both parties. That's a clear conflict of interest. That's having the mice guarding the cheese. So Buddy Darby has not paid 1 cent to National Bank for 6 years. My straight dog family. The lawyer who used to walk around the square, he's now in government. Did he advise July to instruct the board to pull the case? But that's what's happening in our country, my straight dog family. And they boast about good governance. A suite of good governance legislation passed in Parliament. But you may have laws passed. What about compliance? My straight dog family, they passed a draconian piece of legislation. 40 years. If you have found with a gun and ammunition, has that stopped the murders? Are our streets safer? No, hell no. The undoing of the alternative lifestyle or peace program, they threw it out the door. They revised it to something called Elevate, and so said, so done. The crime rate has been elevated to a high of 56 murders under July since his tenure in office as Minister of National Security and Prime Minister. But even more troubling, as I close my straight dog family, is the citizenship by investment program. Yes, we are told it's evolving. Evolving how? We ask, my straight dog family. But remember, as I said, that July claimed that the CBI is responsible for high ranking on the Human Development Index. He spoke to the summit. But so-called engineer Conrad Maynard also spoke to the summit, my straight dog family. And it's a pertinent question. It's a fair question to ask. Who did the so-called engineer Conrad Maynard represent? Did he represent his firm, Capis Bass Global Limited? Or did he represent the government? Capis and Bass Limited? Or did he represent the government? These are issues of transparency and conflict of interest that need to be addressed by Straight Dog family. A cabinet minister, being a service provider, must raise questions about potential conflicts of interest. What regulations and ethical guidelines are there to ensure that Soko engineer Conris Maynard does not exploit his position as a cabinet member for personal gain? He's a service provider, his firm is, for years. He claimed to fame and money's made. Capis and Bass Global Limited over at Park Hyatt during its construction. It is important to assess, my Straight Dog family, whether the minister's involvement complies with legal and ethical standards set for public officials. And there should be strict adherence to the laws governing public office and potential conflicts of interest to maintain public trust and confidence. Not a situation where we have the mice guarding the cheese. But when it comes to legal and ethical standards, my Straight Dog family, Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin failed us already. And we can verify that simply by searching the court records of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court, my Straight Dog family. He failed us many times, and he continues to fail us.
Maybe Mr. Wilkins should be disclosing what's happened. Maybe Mr. Wilkins should disclose that he had failed to pay Social Security benefits for 15 months on one occasion, on another occasion for 5 months, and another one for about three or 4 months. And all of that is contrary to the law. And it is not a simple matter of just saying, oh, you just pay the fines. Because what you expose yourself to there is criminal action. And isn't this something that should be told to everybody? That if you do not pay your Social Security benefits, you are liable to be prosecuted. You hold yourself up for that possibility.
And underline everybody as we look at Social Security reform. But without any shame, Garth Lucifer Wilkin made an application to the High Court to block disclosure of the fixed date claim by Straight Dog family. It's there. He submitted an application to strike. Didn't want to ensure there's transparency. My Straight Dog family. That's what he was all about. And his aim, no doubt, was to hide the 22,000 certificates of registration signed by July, who said it was a setup. Imagine that. Who set him up? My Straight Dog family. But July and Conris Maynard have a lot to tell the people. Again, my heart goes out to that lady who apparently succumbed to this, my Straight Dog family.
Yes, people. It's a sad day when I could stay from home and hear that Nicole, the post lady from Monkey Hill, New Road, for New Road Monkey Hill is dead. Or New Road St. Peter's is dead. Nicole has finally passed. She's deceased. And I want to ask the question right now, before this thing gets cold. Who is to blame for Nicole's death? Nicole been suffering because of mole that was in the post office. Nicole came in the post office a healthy girl.
Who is to blame? It's a question we leave with you tonight, my Straight Talk family, for Nicole's death. May she rest in peace, nonetheless. But Drew, full disclosure will come soon. You have to tell us about the 22,000 passports, the CORs you signed.
Madam Speaker, I said that in 2020 to 2023, as a result of 5,500 CBI units issued for the prison project, I am informed that 166 passports have been issued to citizens by investment in the last 2 years, Madam Speaker. Set up the government. Set up the government with this, Madam Speaker.
And him, my Straight Talk family, I've informed, he signed the CORs, and full disclosure will expose him. Straight Talk demands transparency and accountability to prevent further abuse of power and or influence of these current ministers in cabinet. What we see is clearly conflict of interest, the cabinet of mice guarding the cheese. That's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I'm not going to change it. But my time is done and I got to run. But in the process, I must first of all thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight as always. I want to thank you, the many listeners, those of you who sent emails, those of you who called, the many of you who just listen, my Straight Talk family. Just remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason I say a big, big thank you. I am Ian Patches Liburd, and God's spare we will connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk. Until then, have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Be good to all whom you meet. Do your chores, go to church, spend some time in the presence of God. And remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on until we connect on Monday. Bye-bye.